Hi, good morning. One human, yes. Hi, I'm Shinghy. Welcome to Blockchain Conference today. I was not here yesterday. So thank goodness those guys put together a scissor reel, because otherwise I would be completely lost. Quick show of hands, who was here yesterday? Real quick. Okay. I landed late night from New York. Double hands, thank you, brother. I'm down. I landed late last night from New York City. I was meant to be here yesterday. It didn't work out so much, but I'm excited to be with you today. So much so that I asked them if I could do a bit prior to everyone else coming up on stage. Are we cool with that? All right, I've got a couple of things to talk about. Another woo. I'm down with that human. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, I want to remember this. There are no passengers on planet Earth. We are all crew. And at the end of this day, I hope you remain inspired and intrigued and overwhelmed by the opportunities ahead of us. Why? Look, man, I grew up in the world of the internet. I was there at 1.0. Awesome. And then we moved to the world of social. And then along came collaboration. And of course, autonomy, we talk about all day, every day. And if you don't believe me, go to Expo and it'll be there front and center. But of course, we're now in the world of wellness and of space. I'd rather fix this world before we mess up that world, but that's just me. I have a few more minutes to give you some other context, and it's this. If you think about where we're headed, this is not going away. The world of being in a place of bad air quality, of things like this in pandemics, is here to stay. I respect your part of the world for treating it the way you did, seriously, but also allowing life to go on. I'm originally from Australia, and we're still in lockdown. But what's amazing is this is not going away. Now, I'm also half Chinese, so for me, I've been wearing masks for like 10 years for whenever I travel. I've been wearing them most of my travel life. So when I start seeing white people with masks on, I freaked out. But that's just me. But it's not going away, brothers and sisters. We're in the world of cyborgs. We are human cyborgs. Love this product. Has an 18-month wait list. But here's where I think it's fascinating. One thing I want you to think about in addition to all of the stuff that's coming at you is, what does work look like for us? Because I know of people who are rushing from their 9 to 5 to join things around the metaverse and Web3 and working 24/7. But let's give some human context to this. Work is changing our place. It's also changing our flow, and it's definitely changing our force. And where I think this is fascinating is that the vast majority of people hate their job. Sorry, they just do. But here's where it's at. We spend a ton of our working life, or a ton of our life, at work, not our working life. 80% of it. So you better enjoy it, which is why I hope you're here. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, if you think about the opportunity, it's this. 90% of people prefer to be productive, and they love actually the distributed workforce. So as you design your billion-dollar startups and your incredible next generation of X, make sure it is allowing people to enjoy that experience. Why? Because we've learned that from the industrialization. The challenge is also allow people to reset. It turns out where I live in the US, people feel guilty about taking vacations. Not me, man. My life is a vacation. But if you think about the disconnected human, it's a bit like this. Stay with me. So this is where we went from, right? All of this is our human behavior. Got it. But at about here, when we were hunters and gatherers, we had 15-hour workday. We only become domesticated because we harvest wheat, and we needed to see it grow, and we needed to grind it, and suddenly we became humans anchored. But when you think about where we turned into 40-hour week, it came in the post-industrial revolution. But guess what? With all the advanced technologies, with all of the stuff in here and out there, we haven't adjusted that. So it's something that I have in the top of my mind, is that a readjustment, because we're now a digital nomad, and we're also a location nomad now. How awesome is that? Okay. All of this in the tsunami of change is all about what? Well, before we talk about the what, we have to ask why. Why is it important? Well, it's important because of this. We are on the cusp of the 4th industrial revolution. Anybody tell me what the first was? Ooh, what? Close, my brother. Steam. Along came what? Electricity. Then what? Computing. Yes. Before we move forward, who here in the last 12 months switched their jobs? Not a lot of you. Some crocodile arms. I'm vibing that. Thanks, man. Crocodile arms. Anyone else? In 2020, did anybody start a new company of their own? Just so I know what I'm dealing with. Okay. And by the way, I'm coming back later to present longer. And I'm around in the studio this afternoon, and I'm also around tomorrow, so you can't get rid of me. You guys have all started jobs. I'm vibing that. Okay. Computing. The fourth industrial revolution is powered by intelligence, human and otherwise. So here's where I think it's fascinating. This is not new. So when you have these subject matter experts, and they are brilliant, from yesterday's narrative, we have brilliant people in the room. Suck as much of their resource as you possibly can. Blockchain is not new. But what else is not new? Roblox, not new. Gaming platforms, not new. Not new. But we're at a point where now we need to contextualize it. Why? Because here's the deal, man. It's all about information, it's all about platforms, and it's all about this world of tokens, all these bits and bytes and how it's all going to come together, isn't it? Well, yeah. But it's got to be anchored around something. And this is what it was anchored before. This was the busted system people all talk about when I grew up in 1.0. This thing. Point of failure. When you think about what's happening along the beauty of blockchain, by the way, one of the most aggressive two words thrown together, block and chain. My goodness. But whatever, let's dig it. When you think about it, this is the world we're talking about. We're talking about untrusted environments. Why? Because it's distributed in a way that we have no points of failure. Isn't that incredible? Yes. But I'll leave you with this. There are three things at the top of everybody's mind when I travel the world to speak to them about this category of what is next. And it's this. Everyone on planet Earth says to me, Shingy, I want to disrupt. Awesome. But if you're not disrupting yourself now, you're being disrupted, and we're seeing that in the opportunity that's presented to us right now. The second thing is, they want it done through experiences of change. Well, it's happening in these other rooms out there, so go and experience some of that. If you've never experienced it, sit, be present, mess around with it, and find out what is going on with these immersive environments. And lastly, it's all about transformation, and I leave you with that thought. In all of this opportunity today, with 8 billion people on planet Earth, and 50% of them never known life without the internet, transformation is right here, right in front of us. When we spend about 1,500 times a day either playing, fiddling, opening, closing, jarring around with these supercomputers in our pockets that have become the studios of our lives, that's where transformation is at the heart of it. And with that, I'm going to bring back up Peter, but I want you to have an amazing day. Come harass some of the incredible talent, and I'll see you out there. Take care.